According to Albert Einstein, we cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. My name is Corinna Stoffel, and I'm the host of Toward a New World. The world seems to be falling apart. Are you as frustrated as I am with the talk about how to fix things or what needs to change, yet nothing changes? In the episodes, I invite people to look from different perspectives, sometimes even contrary to the current points of view. My intention is to evoke a different level of consciousness by empowering listeners to explore what is true for them and begin to live their lives from that place, thus changing their lives and through the world. If this appeals to you, I ask you to subscribe to the podcast on this channel.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Toward a New World. What am I going to talk about today? It is usually the question that I'm sitting with starting latest by Monday. And what I decided for today is greatness after retirement. That is possible. So when I finally, or close to when I finally accepted that I am an elder, and I'm not retired yet because I love what I'm doing. So I don't see retirement for me anywhere in the near future. But there is often the question of who am I now? And I want to tell you the story how I discovered a totally different description of who I am. And let me start with, we usually describe ourselves by using data points. What if there is actually an energetic description too? And then an energetic description comes from our core, which is in the pelvis area. If you imagine the bone structure of the pelvis, and in that bone structure there is a satellite antenna with the receiver sort of going towards the solar plexus, and it receives the energy from the universe that is telling you who you are. And getting that description for me included a purpose too. Then the question was more, where am I applying the purpose exactly? But let me read you the description that I came up with. I am the water that nourishes the ability to see beyond the current world to a beautifully connected world and washes away anything that stands in the way. And the question then was, so what is the ability to see that current world, beyond the current world, to, and what do I need to do with that? And it eventually zeroed in on bringing elders back, inviting elders to step onto the road of elderhood. Because why? Do we have elders? Do we have officially elders? Or after people retire, they are put out to pasture? That's more what it feels like to me when I look at the whole thing. So when you're put out to pasture and you identified yourself with your job, for instance. Who are you now? What are you going to do now? What's your purpose now? And another issue that seems to be common among retirees is that they're afraid of social isolation because we do not recognize older people. They're sort of put away. So, what if we take the time that we have now, after not going to our 9 to 5 job, after not having all the tasks and the time taken up with the job, with family, with raising children? Sorry. We have time as a sudden to really look at what are we beyond the data points. And maybe there is a possibility to come up with something new. I am aware of how much just listening to my parents, yeah, once we're retired, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I'm aware that many people are having a similar idea that they can really live once they are retired. And what if the world is falling apart right now? Many people look at it with what is going on in our society, in our culture, with the systems and institutions we have. Things seem to be falling apart. How are we going to deal with that? So, what have I found helpful to bring it to that? I have been busy looking at my life and by educating myself about trauma, the auto responses that we have if we had traumatic experiences in our life. And I came to see, whoa, I have trauma, and I could find the trauma. And I want to invite you to look at your life and see what traumas you have experienced, because my sense is most of us, if not all of us, have experienced trauma at some point in life, be it during childhood, be it during the adult years. It doesn't matter. But it left an imprint. It impacted us. So healing those traumas is incredibly important. Me looking at it led me to really get to a place where I was willing to step out, to step up, to be seen, because I was the best kept secret. I was hiding so much. What I also have been doing lately is creating an active connection to my soul. I've always had a deep connection to spirit throughout my life, but it was on and off that I would ask myself, so what do you want me to do? It was always this was important. I could make the decision. I would choose. I would decide this, that, and the other. Another thing that really is helpful is to become a global citizen. And that has been quite some time for me, probably because I moved from Germany to the US. Initially, it was only for a few years. In the meantime, it's over 40 years. And I am seeing with what is going on that the world has become a village. We visit, we migrate, and we need to work become incorporated into the culture where we migrate to, while also attempting to maybe keep the one or the other cultural aspect of our previous life, and to realize that we are one big village on the globe. We're no longer an individual village here and there and there and there as it used to be like 200-300 years ago. And if you're really honest, have you ever taken an airplane flight and looked down? And did you see any state boundaries, any country boundaries, or whatsoever when you look down? No, it's not natural. We have created that in order to keep others out that are not our group. That is no longer possible with all the migration that is happening. And with climate change, there will be more migration. And if you look at history, the Roman Empire became overrun due to migration. So there is also, with age, the question, what can I offer that is beyond myself? Or let's say there's a possibility to ask that question. Because I have more freedom now since I've done all the other jobs that I have been assigned or chose to accept from our society. And the one thing that I learned that made a huge impact in my life is learning to get from thinking, and a former math teacher, this is priced real estate, into perceiving energy. There is so much more possible when I'm willing to perceive energy than it was before. I'm realizing I'm becoming choosier, for instance, just plain with the words that I'm using, because I perceive the energy and may not be quite there, describing what I would like to describe. So you are there. You are retired. We all grow older. Becoming an elder is a choice we need to make. And what if making that choice opens up so much more? Exploring a different sense of self, a new sense of purpose. And one thing I became clearly aware of is looking at the transition we're in and the fact that we have no elders, knowing the role that elders played in indigenous societies. We desperately need elders. What impact do you want to have on the world? On the world, not just your world, which is including you, your family, your extended family. No, I'm asking, what impact do you want to have on the world? What do you see that we could be? What could be different? Where would you like to go? What kind of a world are you dreaming of? And do you want to contribute to that? An elder lives their new purpose. What if that is a choice that you can make? I really want to invite you to go there and explore. Until next time, bye-bye.